Gade is briefing the media about progress being made and the process following the final day of marking of matric papers. The MEC will also outline the departmental plans for this school year, including on school readiness to open. No marker, we understand, has died from COVID-19 related illnesses in the province during the marking period. It's happening currently. Let's take you there now live.
And that does not suggest that there could be no school without tanks or without water in the province, but the ones that we have been given fund for it, we have been able to achieve the 100% on them. On sanitation, this is a sensitive and a dire need to provide sanitation in all our rural schools as a province, and also to address the infrastructure backlog. The department has forced a partnership that seeks to eradicate all these inappropriate and mud ablution facilities. Additionally to our allocated budget, we have been fortunate enough as a province to also benefit in the presidential sanitation appropriate for education, the SAFE program. About 232 ablution facility will be built over the coming financial year, whilst 30 of them has already been started, but due to COVID-19 they have to be stopped, and they will be finished before the resuming of the current academic year. I must clarify this one. This is a SAFE program that we have been in collaboration with Department of Sanitation and Water. And that happens before the first national lockdown. But it then ended on the basis of the call of the President and the resurgence of the COVID-19 in the country. Now we are bringing it back with that 232 schools that will benefit out of that program. So it's a matter that I think is going to give us a new pedestal as a province in relation to some of the ablution facilities that have been dilapidated in the context of the infrastructure problems that we have. In terms of the school furniture, in a bid to instill dignity to learners and to ensure conducive teaching and learning, the department embarked in verification and quality assurance process with regards to school furniture by the end of 2020 December deliveries to our identified needs schools, and has been completed that particular process. I have heard yesterday SG in the portfolio committee that there is a school in Lusiki that requires us to urgently attend to some of the furniture challenges. And I think there is a need for principals to communicate with the head office proper, because it is not good enough for us to get that information in the portfolio committee whilst we have got furniture in abundance in the warehouse here in East London. So there must be that communication between the district directors, the principals, and the director and the directorship that deals with the infrastructure in terms of furniture in the department, in particular in the head office, because from where I'm seated, we don't have a crisis of furniture in the province. In fact, there is a dire need of other provinces getting furniture of schools here in the province. So to have a school that has got a problem, it means there is a problem of communication that must be addressed with immediate effect so that we can close up that one. And I think we are equally to that with the acting SG. On school nutrition, as part of ensuring that learner retention and to address poverty, the department continues to deliver on school nutrition programs. Plans are in place to make sure that when schools open, funds would have been transferred into their accounts. The programs to assist in ensuring that all our learners from quintile 1 to 3 at least get a decent meal per day. The decentralization model adopted gives schools a chance to procure their own groceries as per the approved menu provided by the department. By the time schools funds for the first quarter of 2021 academic year has already been transferred to ensure our learners have a meal on the first day of the schooling. On learner transport, as you would know, that we are aware that this function is championed by the Department of Transport, but however, our department is responsible for the provisioning of data in terms of the learners who should benefit out of this program. A multi-year tender for 2020-2021 is in place currently. The Department of Transport has finalized it. Currently, there are 120,408 learners from the 1,118 schools who are going to benefit out of the scholar transport system. Due to the budget constraints, a total of 20,476 learners are not yet been benefiting out of that. So, but you'd remember that we're moving from 89,000 in the past financial year. Now we are at 120,408, meaning that at least gradually we are beginning to reduce the number of learners that are not transported in the province. And also, in the context of hostels, the department is intending to closely monitor hostel admissions for the 2021 to avoid any challenges that were encountered in 2020, where we had outbreaks of COVID-19 in our hostels. We will continue to work in making sure that we comply with the social distancing and other health-related matters as outlined in the regulations. In the provisioning of human resource, post-establishments has already been transferred to schools in October 2020. So we are at least ahead of events on this one. The management plan was consulted and agreed upon by the department and social partners. The department will continue to issue quarterly bulletins for filling of the vacancies in our own institutions of learning. The acting SG has already issued out the instruction in the context of ensuring that we absorb in the vacant post that has been left by the deceased due to the COVID-19. That process has already been started by the HOD of the department. So we will close up the first quarter without qualms and also without any challenges of shortages of teachers and also the personnel. Hence, I'm indicating that already an instruction by the HOD has already got out to all principals of schools and all chief directors and directors of the sector itself. On school safety, ladies and gentlemen, let me indicate that this is an area of school safety which remains one of the biggest challenges in the Department of Schools, in the Department of Education. School vandalism and also destruction of valuable property meant to enhance teaching and learning is a loss in the process. This vandalism poses a challenge for all of us in terms of providing quality education that we want for our own learners. We urge communities to play a big role and to protect schools within this area. The department will mark on a drive to revive community structures such as quality and learning and teaching campaign, which is aimed to ensuring the community involvement towards achieving the noble goal for providing quality education for all. We are further making a clarion call of all leaders of the society to assist us in this regard. In making this call, we are guided by the view that education is a societal matter. The department will further continue to forge collaboration with the Department of Safety and Liaison to safeguard our institutions. And I think it is going to be important also to clarify this one as SG, that for us to have safe schools, we need safe communities. Science must prevail. Science must prevail. You will never have safe schools outside of safe communities. That's a critical question. Whether if you build in safe schools, are the communities safe themselves? So that we don't miss up the point. So hence I'm saying this project between us and the Department of Safety is critical in stabilizing the society and also in advancement of the social cohesion and the nation building exercise that were adopted in 1994. Part of the lessons that we must all learn is that we are living with the past in the present. We are living with the past in the present. The fact that we can be now engaged on race cards across societies within the sector itself, it means we're living with the past in the present. And therefore, hence I'm saying it is going to be critical for government, not for education, for government entirely, to build safe communities so that any institution of government finds expression within that particular perspective of ensuring that we stabilize. We are a nation that recognizes the importance of some of the properties of government. On school transfers, schools have received their second and the last tranche in November 2020 for both public and independent. This is one of the reasons that we have been arguing, as I would come down to it, that it will be proper that this time around, in the context of making sure that we are ready in the form of protective clothing and equipment for COVID-19, schools are given that leverage of ensuring that they procure themselves for the first quarter so that we don't delay the school administration and the resuming of the academic progression on the basis of procurement processes. So that's why I'm trying to say it is going to be imperative that when we have issued these transfer norms for school funding to schools, we're able to respond to that particular question. On learner support material, we have already started in January, and the latest dates for the deliveries will be 22 January for stationery and 15th of February for textbook. We will work hard to ensure that all our schools are provided with the learner support material. This one is work in progress, and of course we have started late, but we are able to ensure that we'll be able to finish it within the period that we've earmarked. On protective clothing, again, in 2020 academic year, the department managed to procure all the necessary PPEs for learners, educators, and support staff. For the first quarter in 2020 academic year, schools would have been instructed to procure using the school funding norms, which I have said. The department will therefore procure in the second quarter and going forward. A circular has already been issued again by the SG to principals and SGPs to ensure that cleanliness and health standards are adhered to when schools are reopened. On the psychosocial support services, the department is in collaboration with the Department of Social Development and Health for the implementation of an integrated health policy and other psychosocial support services. The department has contracted 49 social workers who are placed in circuit management centers across the province who will be rendering psychosocial support services to all of our own learners. In addition, 60 social workers have been placed in all our special schools. Also, in supporting our employees, we have also placed 24 social workers in all our districts. About 900 learner support agencies have been contracted to render such services in 900 schools in the province. If I can just get one second of your time, you will see that we are beginning to diversify institutions of learning so that you don't populate schools with only teaching staff. You also respond to the administrative systems that would require teachers to get out of the classroom. Now you are not going to have that much challenge, SG, of teachers doing administration, because we have got a lot of personnel that we have issued to schools so that we can be able to have teachers dedicated and focused on the content, the pedagogy in education, and ensure that they are able to reach to the desired outcomes as mandated by the ministry itself. On learner admissions, we have identified 4 districts here which have been always a problem for the past 4 years. It's Buffalo City, Metro, Nelson Mandela Metro, OR Tambo Inland, and Sarah Batman. The reason for us to identify these ones is that, SG and colleagues, we are competing here, DDG Corporate Services, Mr. Mngun. We are competing with parents' interest here. It's not that there are not schools here, but it's because of the competitive nature of education within those districts. Leaving other schools on the basis of the competitiveness to other areas where a parent feels his kids or her kid could perform better and get the necessary skill and the necessary requirement. So I'm saying, out of that process, we have identified 10,934 learners that have not yet been admitted yet now. But we are guaranteed that they are going to be absorbed because a process has been set in place to ensure that they are distributed amongst other schools that still have got spaces. Hence, I'm saying the issue is not about the schools being full. The issue is about the competitive nature of education in the country, and therefore parents having a particular interest in a particular school, not that one. So we are balancing a scale on that one so that we can deal with that and close chapter on it. On the Education Employment Initiative, by 2020, that has posed challenges for all as citizens because of COVID in the country. The economy of the country was deeply affected, and this led to many South Africans losing jobs, unable to provide their families. The president of the country, in an endeavor to mitigate this, come up with the Youth Employment Initiative. In summary, I can say we have been able to appoint 50,540 young people as a Department of Education currently, out of a mandate that we were given of 55,000. We're given 55,000, we've been able to appoint 50,540 young people as part of the EAs and also part of the working staff that has been required out of that particular grant. We have already, SG, paid through PESAL system to 23,681 people, which amounts to 73,831,000. So we are left with plus minus 18 or 17,000 people that must be paid. Already the SG and the DTG for corporate services have already signed the payments of the outstanding number. So within a week or so, they will be receiving their monies back so that we can open up and resume the work without anyone has got a dispute of non-payment within the education. This is a year which has posed some interesting challenges for the country, in particular for the province. We have been advancing the decolonization of education as a Department of Education through the mother tongue bilingual education in the province. I can safely say now, when we are announcing results come 23rd or 22nd of February, we'll give you an analysis of what then has been an impact of this project in the academic progression of learners in the province, in particular in grade 12 on maths and science and also and life sciences, because those were the key subjects that have been targeted during the trial examinations. But I can safely say to you now, there are indications from the trial examinations that there is a need in the country to discuss this thing. Because if these ones perform better than the ones that are currently doing currently doing their own academic progression using the normal subjects that have been taught for the century. There is a dire need of a discussion in the country. But of course, the CEM has already taken a decision that this project is going to be rolled out across the country this year, starting in grade 4 in other provinces. Grade 4 in other provinces. I want you to mark this. Grade 4 in other provinces, grade 12 in Eastern Cape. Because of the fact that this is an accumulation of an effort of the then MECs and the then HODs of this department and the cohort of this leadership that is in front of you since 2012. This is a program of 2012, not a program of 2020. A program of 2012. So hence I'm saying in other provinces they will be starting this year in grade 4, but us will be proceeding with polishing it up for grade 12 and other grades that have not been able to roll it out in other schools. So because of this project, SG, the minister has actually given a nod for us as an Eastern Cape to construct the National Language Academy in the province. Meaning that we must be the catalyst of this project as a province in the country. Direct it and ensure that this project does not fail, not for the province but for the country now. Hence we have been given this particular gift of ensuring that we respond to this debate which have been there since 2012 in the sector. In the context of examinations and marking for 2020, the department has been administering 1,400,000 scripts over 131,000 candidates in the province. And again, I must emphasize this. In the province, we have got candidates of grade 12 that were writing examinations, which is 131. I will be interested to hear what were the candidates of other provinces, so that when we look into some of the areas, we can be able to deal with that. Without the system in place which has developed ever since, it's worth mentioning that as a department we are confident that we have been able to conduct examinations process with the highest integrity it deserves. We never have irregularities in the examinations. We never have irregularities in the marking centers. Instead, we have been praised by DG that beyond the call of being educators, we have assisted the country in demonstrating that you can't bring teachers into marking centers without being tested under the current environment. Hence, the Eastern Cape was very, very, very strong in ensuring that teachers must be tested, markers must be tested before they arrive, so that you curb the spread of the virus from the marking centers back home and from home to the marking centers. So that's why part of the reasons now, currently you have got statistics of COVID-19 on the slide down, on this slide progress in the Eastern Cape, is because of the provincial government strategy of ensuring that we respond to some of these things. Hence I'm saying that have assisted us a lot of ensuring that we subject people from marking into ensuring that they are tested. Out of 7,931 personnel in our marking centers, which were 292 of them tested positive. And they were all advised to observe the protocols. Out of 7,931, only 292 that tested positive. And were able to make supplementers and replace them accordingly. And all the centers have been provided with the PPEs, and the Department of Health has come in handy in ensuring that it gives us 10,000 face masks to distribute to all marking centers. So our environment was quite hygienic, health-wide, and also a respond to the COVID-19 regulations. And also the capturing now of the NSS as a province. Since the 19th SG of January, we were at 62%. On the 19th, we're at 62%, meaning that we've finished up the work far earlier than was expected, because they are supposed to be closing the capturing on the 25th of January. But I can tell you now, they are above 70 or close to 80 by now. If on the 19th they were 62, because reports have been indicating differently. On school visit, colleagues, the program for the school visit is proposed to be undertaken during the first and second week to ensure that the back to school program through the provincial steering committee led by the Office of the Premier is being adhered to. But I can assure you that during that process, again, we will observe the COVID-19 protocols. So lastly, I wish to thank all of you for the opportunity that we share with us in terms of the plans for the past academic year, and also the insights that through criticisms, constructive criticisms, you have been able to share with us and sharpen our understanding of the terrain that we operate into. We have been able to achieve more than we have been targeting currently, and we can assure you that our commitment as a Department of Education in ensuring that we get qualitative education outcomes, we are going to meet it. As a department, we are also committed in working with all the role players to overcome all the challenges posed by the pandemic and other issues of social illnesses. We might have an impact in our education system if we work together collectively and be focused, so that all of us get the Eastern Cape where it belongs, reposition it, redirect it, repurpose it, and take some time unpopular decisions so that you can be able to get the necessary targets that we have set for ourselves. We must all extend the word of gratitude to the EXCO of the Eastern Cape, the union leaders, the teachers, SGPs, learner representative, NGOs, everyone, the top management that is presently here, our kids, our parents, our churches, our traditional institutions, and everybody for the good work that has been done to navigate the sector to be where it is during the difficult year of 2020, and to be where we are now as we wrap up the year of 2020 academic year and beginning of the 2021 academic year in a short space of few days to come. I thank you, Program Director.
You can take questions.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. MEC. And colleagues, we are now going to take the questions. You raise your hand, you tell us from each institution, and then from there you fire a question.
Giving us a sense of what we can expect this year in terms of school readiness, also talking about the matric markings as well, the department's plans for this school year, and also with regards to in the context of COVID-19. So informative indeed. We'll follow up on that story a little later on. We've got some breaking news on our watch on your screen. As you can see, that is the court